Here we go. Good morning, Morgan County. Woohoo! It's time for our Positive Podcast from the Morgan County Partnership. Hi, neighbors. I'm Mrs. Hott, the Positive Actions and Digital Media Facilitator. Today's Positive Podcast is called Creativity, Positive Actions with Jonathan McBee from Black Cat Music Coop.
Hi, hola, es hora de acción positiva. Hi community, I am Mrs. Sheima, Morgan County Partnership Positive Actions and Digital Media Facilitator.
Our Morgan County Partnership joins you weekly for an exciting look at positive programs, news, features to help build empathy, to foster core values, health and family wellness in our homes, community, and around the world.
Whether you are 2 or 92, each new Partnership Positive podcast we will feature fun and exciting information to help you manage and balance life here in West Virginia and beyond.
Beyond, right. We're ready. We are so ready, neighbors, to discover new positive core values each week that help build a network of neighbors in a community that works together. All right. And we help each other. And it's so important right now, right? Because we all are getting through some crazy times, aren't we? Snow. Right now, we're recording on a Monday, and there's like a foot of snow outside our house, and the plow guy comes over, and the dogs are outside, the deer are everywhere. So everything's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back to school, but we're not back to school because we have snow. So it's just crazy, isn't it, guys? So this podcast and our Positive Action Program neighbors, we're here to connect, to get together, and to use our wellness. And we're talking, Sheima, Jonathan, and our neighbors, we're talking about intellectual wellness, words that are healthy for your brain. I don't know about you guys, but I feel things like creativity and curiosity, things during a pandemic to stimulate, to bring us together. And the big one this week I want to bring into the podcast is we're going to talk about music. That gets me really excited. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
Let's get
started.
All right. Today's Positive Podcast is called Creativity, Positive Actions with Jonathan McBee from Black Cat Music Co-op. Thanks for listening, neighbors. And remember, you can also watch our podcast on our Positive Actions YouTube channel. Today, we do have a really special guest.
We do, Mrs. Hott. Tell us more about it. Remember, a role model is someone whose example it's looked to and emulated to desire to follow their positive actions.
That's right. And you know what, guys? I love meeting role models in our community. I really do. And today our friend joins us from Black Cat, and this is Jonathan McBee. And Jonathan, you want to say hi? Are you there, Jonathan?
Hi, everyone. Hello to Morgan County.
There he is. Yep, we can hear you. Thanks for joining us. You're our role model that we get to talk to today. And neighbors, Jonathan's a really special guy. He's super duper talented. And he's almost as old as I am.
You're funny.
I'm always the oldest in the room, Jonathan. It never fails. Well, except here at the house, Dan's older than me. We don't go anywhere these days. So I'm not the oldest one. Well, I'm the oldest one in the podcast.
Yeah.
But neighbors, family, friends, Jonathan and I, we were in high school together, Berkeley Springs High School back in the day. And I remember doing plays with Jonathan and your older brothers. Wait a minute. You had a brother in my grade, right? I just remembered that. Didn't you, Jonathan?
Yeah, my brother Joe.
Joe, right. Because it'd be when we would sit in homeroom, I was Angie McBee, and then Joe McBee sat behind me. Oh, shame. I haven't thought of that in years. Oh, wow. How's Joe doing?
Yeah.
Is he still in Berkeley Springs, Morgan?
He's good.
Good.
He is, as a matter of fact.
Oh, well, we hope, Joe. Hey.
Yeah, lots of McBees in Morgan County.
Yeah, lots of McBees in Morgan County, Miss Sheima. And Jonathan, I want to introduce you to my friend here on the podcast, Miss Sheima. And Sheima is Positive Actions Facilitator and video digital media creator with us. We do all of our content virtually from the partnership. And Sheima's husband works at the high school where you and I went to high school. He's the Spanish teacher there. And Sheima moved to Morgan County. Gosh, Sheima, it seems like yesterday, right? Yeah, all the way from Spain. So we really do. When we say around the world,
Wow.
Jonathan, you know what? Family in Spain, log on and join us. And you know what? Also throughout West Virginia, neighbors here in Morgan County, we do have some friends from throughout other school districts who are logging on and listening to Positive Values, because I feel things for your heart. Okay, that's what brings our community together. Love, empathy, kindness. And boy, our world needs it these days, right, guys? So you guys ready to talk about a new value word?
Yes.
I am. Yes, me too.
Yes.
All right, today. All right, Jonathan. Jonathan, let's start off, okay? I'll stop talking. And if you could share a little bit about yourself first, Jonathan, what you've been doing, what you've been up to since high school, and what you're doing now, okay?
Oh, well, since high school, boy, that's a long story, but you know, I've done a lot of things, and a lot of my life has really centered around music and performance ever since high school. I teach music through Black Cat Music Shop, and I've performed with several bands in several states around the country. Had a lot of fun playing music, but I really enjoy teaching as well, and participating in community projects as well.
Well, we're really lucky to have you back in Morgan County. Where did you go when you left Morgan?
Home.
Where did you go to? Because I know neighbors. Jonathan called me and I had this weird number on my phone. It said, where did it say? Kansas or something? I'm like, I don't know anybody in Kansas. Turned out to be Jonathan, but he wasn't in Kansas.
Yeah, right. I know that scares people whenever I call them and they see a Kansas number. They're like, oh, I don't know if I want to take that or not. Well, I've moved around a few times since high school. I've lived in the DC area. I lived in Seattle, Washington for a year. And I spent some time out in the Midwest. I lived in Kansas, I lived in Nebraska, and then Richmond, Virginia, and spent a little time in Ohio. But yeah, just spent some time moving around and having a good time, exploring some different communities.
I think that's great, you know, because, and I want our neighbors to know that, you know, we live in Morgan County right now, but there's a whole big world out there, right? Doesn't mean we have to stay here forever. And that's a positive thought.
That's exactly
action.
Right.
And you see, neighbors, Jonathan, I mean, I'm watching and listening, but hearing him, it's great to feel that you've had these experiences, and we're lucky that you go out and then come back to Morgan County where you grew up and share some of your knowledge with us. And I want to tell you, Jonathan, right now, Sheima and I, we're already on Unit 3 for Positive Actions. And we talk about intellectual wellness, okay? And neighbors, these are positive actions that are good for your brain and things that stimulate your brain to have healthy brains. And it's important now during this pandemic that we're home. And so Jonathan and his experience with music and creativity, those are great actions to keep us healthy. And when we're creative, I was just looking this up before you called me, Jonathan, your brain actually responds. And so your knowledge is a positive action, getting new knowledge, where you've gone, and that you can share with our community through music is a really beautiful thing. I'm really excited. Now, neighbors, Jonathan's got a new program he's going to tell us about coming up at Black Cat Co-op. And I don't think I told you about it yet either, Sheima, so you get to hear this too. Are you curious?
Yes.
Curious? Are you curious, Jonathan? That was last week's word. Curiosity is good for your intellectual wellness. But first, I want to ask you some questions, okay? The first one, we know you're a musician, right? And we can see there's some guitars behind you. So in case anybody's wondering, I'm curious, okay? How did you become a musician?
You know, I became a musician a lot from just doing. Whenever I was a kid, I played piano, and I played in the band. I played the French horn. But those never really excited me as much as stringed instruments. And when I was 12, I got a mandolin, and I learned to play that. But about a year later, I thought, oh, I've really got to play something cooler. So I got to learn to play guitar. So I got a guitar and just picked it up and experimented. I read everything that I could on how to play, learning all the chords, listening to the music, learning to play along. And over the years, just tried to get better from playing with other people and learning from others, taking lessons from several instructors, and just having fun with it.
Wow, Jonathan, you know what? I'm taking notes here because Sheima and I share positive actions, our value, our thought, creativity. Jonathan, you just said some beautiful positive actions to help grow our intellectual wellness with creativity. Just by doing it, that just go for it, right? You also said reading. I love that.
Right.
Reading all you can about it. You said listening. Oh, I love that value. Listening to music, listening to others. And I feel like also having an open mind, like listening to things that, you know, some people say, oh, I don't listen to that. Like, oh, they say this and I don't want to. But if you have an open mind, try it. You never know what you might like, right? Practicing,
Yeah.
Those are positive actions. You took lessons and having fun with it. Sheima, there's our positive actions for, can we share that? Can we share your positive actions, Jonathan? I think I want to tell that to my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders and kindergarten, 1st and 2nd.
Please do.
And you know what, Jonathan? I actually just, before you called me, I was up and I was reading in my positive action book, and that's what was there. And you know what, through your experience, you've actually done something. And I want to really, like, neighbors, share with what Sheima and I tell your students in the classroom. What you see here, Jonathan, is an example of doing positive actions. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And when you do these positive actions, your intellectual wellness grows, you learn music. Isn't that neat? You inspire me. Okay. Well, you kind of said a little bit of this. What training? You said you took lessons. Did you have to take classes or go to college or anything to be a musician? And if you did or didn't, what do you suggest, or how does it all work?
Well, as far as becoming a musician, it's really just a matter of learning. Being a musician doesn't require any type of school or any type of particular experiences. You just learn from playing, but taking lessons really helps. You'll learn new things as you go along. When I first started, I was all self-taught. I bought some books, on how to play, and I would listen to the songs, try to get them as close as I could. But along the way, taking lessons from other instructors really helped me because they had experiences that they could share, and many of those experiences I share with my students now.
Do you? Huh. So I'm curious, who'd you listen to? Like for me, like who were the musicians that led you in your path to be a musician?
Well, you mean as far as the music that I used to listen to? I've really always listened to pop music. And the rock and roll has always been the thing that excited me the most. So there's so many bands that I can point to. If I just had to throw out a few: Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Electric Light Orchestra, countless bands from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s on up to today. I've just always liked pop music a lot. Pop music.
I would say that's probably my genre too. Although I'm sort of a show tune sort of girl. I listen to lyrics, and that inspires me. It helps my emotional wellness. Just things from like Broadway. I like that. Sheima, what about you? What music inspires you, or what do you listen to?
I love jazz and blues.
Oh, really? Jazz and blues? Me too. I like things with saxophones. Jonathan, a lot of our students remember me playing saxophone in the classroom. We still do that. You might remember from high school. I still play my saxophone. Actually, it's back there. You can't see it right now. But you said something interesting. I heard you say that you used to play the French horn, and then you kind of gravitated towards strings. And just to share a little story, my son Isaac, he started playing trombone at like, whenever you start that, at like 5 years old, fifth grade. He started, so he played trombone in the band, and then BSHS had him. They needed a euphonium player, so he said, "Okay, I'll play that too." But he said kind of what you just said, like you always liked the strings, so he picked up a guitar. He bought his first guitar at Black Cat, and he self-taught himself how to play. And
Wow.
and yeah, and I was curious because he listens to John Mayer, and he tells me that's his inspiration. And we went to a John Mayer concert back in the day when you could go to concerts, that he plays all the time, and he listened to some song, Little Wings. I can't remember. Have you heard of that? Taught himself how to play that song, and then auditioned on that piece. He wrote it down like he made his own composition just by listening. And he also had lessons with Billy Thompson. I'm sure you know Billy. I'm sure he's been in Black Cat. And then he auditioned and got accepted to a music school. So that's the kind of where he's headed. But right now, the brass stuff, he's in high school still. He does that because he's in the band, but he's really looking to collaborate and play. And how do you do this now? I'm way off our roadmap here, but Jonathan, with the pandemic, because Isaac misses the connection and playing with other musicians. How do you stay inspired when you can't get together and jam? What do you do? Because that would help him too. Because that's the one thing that not being able to go and play in the band, it's been difficult.
Yeah, that's a really good question. This year has really presented challenges to everybody, including musicians. I know that whenever I moved back to Berkeley Springs this past year, I planned on, playing out at local clubs and events a lot more often than what it's turned out. However, this is just one of those big challenges we've got to get through right now. I'm still teaching both in person with some social distancing measures and some safety precautions intact, but also doing some lessons online, teaching those. And I've really been focusing on my own development as a musician right now. And eventually, we're going to be able to get out and practice again. We're going to be able to get out and play music in the same room again. We'll be able to do things like that. At Black Cat Music Shop, we really prided ourselves on the open mic night that we'd have the first Friday of every month. And people are always asking us, when are we going to start that? And our answer is always, as soon as it's safe, we'll start doing it again. It's a great opportunity for musicians to get out and play and to meet others and, get a good chance to jam with other musicians. Eventually, we'll start doing that again. But we just have to hold out a little bit longer and get through this black cloud we're under right now. And eventually, things will get back to normal. And I think music will really be a big influence on our lives after that. Again,
absolutely. And let me ask you, along those lines, music. How does music help us stay well? Being creative in music during this pandemic, has music helped you with your wellness, your mental health? Because for students, Sheima and I had an assembly last week, and we got to see like up to almost 30 kids, and they're like, "Oh, there you are." How does and that was just connecting, it helped our mental health. What about music and mental health? Can you tell us about your thoughts on music and mental health? Well,
for myself, I know that music does help my mental health. It inspires me. I find that, so many emotions are just expressed through playing music, and those emotions transfer from the musician to the listener, and it really stimulates our minds. I find that, even if it's listening to something that I've heard for years or a new piece of music, there's always something new that I can pick out of it that I never experienced before. And I'm sure that you've had the same experiences with listening to music, that you find just little bits out of that song that, you know, express itself to you a whole new way.
It does. Yeah, it stimulates your mind.
I find music, I find music just very stimulating to the mind. It's the way you just take all of these notes and sounds that whenever you put them all together, it just really stimulates you in the way that looking at a fantastic piece of art does, or reading someone's thoughts in a story that they've put out. Any type of creativity is really going to stimulate our minds and make our minds work better. It's good. It's a good exercise for our mind.
Mm-hmm. It's good for your intellectual wellness, and physiologically, I read about this. It's good for your brain. You can see what's going on in your brain when your brain is listening to music, and it makes your brain stronger. So that's why, neighbors, friends, we want to encourage you to stay healthy with music during the pandemic and always. And there are ways. I had a thought listening to you about music and how it helps you stay well. And I noticed over the weekend over at Sheima's house, I saw it on Instagram, they had some music playing. Can you tell us about that? And Sheima has a 2-year-old. And what happens in your house with music, Sheima? Can you share?
Oh, it's just wonderful. We have like a vinyls. I don't know the word in English, like the big vinyl
records. Yeah, vinyl.
Yeah, records.
Yeah.
And we just play music and we dance around the house, and it's magic. It's beautiful. Brings joy.
It does. Music brings joy. Oh my gosh. And you know, for me, as I was you know, and Mr. Shade, I hope I should tag him. Mr. Shade taught me how to play saxophone. That brought me joy, you know, as just so young. And music and my kids, I've had such joy as a parent watching them connect with music. And I got to tell you, Morgan County neighbors, seeing Jonathan talk about music and how this influences as a role model for our community, and he's here to share his gifts and his knowledge, that really brings me joy too. And we used to, I remember when Violet was little, before the boys were born, exactly what you were doing, Sheima, just blasting some music and being able to share that. And, you know, even still, especially on a Friday after, you know, getting all of our videos done and school's done, we might be home, but I'll be making a pizza or something with Levi. We'll blast the music in the kitchen. Dan will come by and I'll grab him and we'll dance, and he'll be like, oh, stop, you know, but you're not doing that right. You have to do it. And I'm still learning the 2-step. It's been like 26 years. How long have we been together? 28 years? Well, can't do the math that fast. But he's still trying to teach me. I love to 2-step with him because he's so cute. He's got these, I like to put my hands on his shoulders, and it's great. Just jamming with music. Mm-hmm. So as a positive action, you know, have that thought, your creativity, and neighbors, maybe just put on a song tonight, you know, and think about Jonathan and Sheima's house playing music, and connect with your family right there. I know we're not going out a lot and we can't go to open mic night, which is wonderful. Gosh, Jonathan, you were probably in Arizona, Kansas, when Isaac at like 12 played in the Black Cat School of Rock at those open mics you mentioned. And what joy I have. I was looking for you on the YouTube channel, and I found some with Isaac. I'm like, oh, look how he's my baby. I mean, he's this big, but he was 12. He's still my baby. Up there playing his guitar. Music brings you joy, and it's healthy for your brain.
Oh, I've seen him play through some videos of Black Cat.
Yeah, have you? Yeah, he loves it. I tell you what, music is important. Hey, can I tell y'all something? Okay, I'm going to diverge. This isn't on our notes or anything. But yesterday, I was watching CBS. Anybody watch it yesterday morning? No? Well, there's a new movie coming out about Billie Holiday, and the musician. Yeah, the musician is. It's her first time in this role. I guess there was a movie with Diana Ross. Maybe you might know that. I remember that movie. But there's a new movie, and and just the power of music. Oh my goodness. And it talks about her life and how she tried to use music to integrate race. And I was fascinated. Oh, you guys got to look for this movie. It's about Billie Holiday, but as a musician, she wanted her audience to have black and white and bring them together. And it caused a problem, but music does bring us together, doesn't it? And I think it's a real healthy thing when talking about race. And not to be political, but a little bit political. I never heard the song Strange Fruit. Have you guys ever heard that?
Oh yeah, oh my gosh, that broke my heart.
And I'm like, how can I be 55 years old and not know about this?
Yeah, it's
and I guess, Jonathan, we would be young, I guess, to remember it, but she talked about the song Strange Fruit, and so I'm like, I have to look this up. I looked it up. It's a very short poem, but through music, what power. And Jonathan, I don't know if you know the story, but Billie Holiday sang the song Strange Fruit, and she was told by the FBI, you're not allowed to sing that. Can you imagine not being allowed to sing a song because the government says, but they were having so much racial tension. There's no justification for not being able to sing your song, right? But they tried to stop her. They tried to stop her music. And that just makes my heart go, what? But see how powerful music is, neighbors? Creativity, how powerful our creativity is. And it's so powerful. It can really bring people together with music. Wow. Anyway, I diverged. Somebody's coming. We have to say hello. Here's a future musician, might be a future student. Ithaca, meet Mr. Jonathan. A musician. This is a baby.
Hey, Ithaca.
So cute. Oh, so cute. All right. So, Jonathan, next, I want you to tell us about the new program, Black Cat Music Co-op. Very excited to announce the launch of our new youth mentorship program. What's that all about?
Oh, well, this is really exciting. Black Cat Music Shop, as a local nonprofit organization, has sponsored many programs in the past to help teach music and the arts to the community. And during this pandemic, we've had to shut down a lot of our classes just because of, safety. And we miss everyone considerably. But we're really excited to start a new program. It's a youth mentorship program where we're using professionals of the community to teach young people their experiences, and kids can learn. And as the kids learn, they become youth mentors. They'll be helping the next group of students along in their journey. But it's a program where we're teaching not just music, but different aspects of performance and creativity. We have the creative ends of performance, the script writing, songwriting, choreography, and then the actual performance aspects that we'll be teaching: dance, acting, vocal performance, instrumental performance, and then the production elements such as directing, producing, video editing, advertising, marketing, those types of things. So yeah, it's a really fun program where the local professionals can help to teach our young people. And then as the young people take in this information, they'll be helping the next generation of kids through, and just creating a new generation of young writers, performers, and producers.
I'm excited. And it's like I was thinking, the circle of life. There you are, Jonathan. You learned all of this. Now you're going to teach others to teach this. You sent me, it says, in case anyone's interested, areas are songwriting, performance, videography, visual arts, choreography, and production sessions. That's really cool. I got to tell you, when I went to UMass, I took a huge art administrative track because I felt it was important, like, for all this talent, that people got to hear it. You know what I mean? There needs to be the production side of it too. How are you going to find the funding for it? get it produced, and get somebody in that seat to hear it and experience it, right? That's pretty cool. Now, if anybody is interested in participating, what should we do?
You can reach out to us at Black Cat Music Black Cat Music Cooperative.
Gotcha.
And you can certainly call us at 304-258-4440.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Or you can email us at blackcatmusiccooperative@gmail.com.
I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to write that down. Can you tell me that phone number again? What was that number?
Sure. It's 304-258-4440.
Got it. Okay. And I've got the email right here, blackcatmusiccooperative@gmail.com. We'll share that, okay? Because this week our value, creativity, and neighbors. That's, this program, the mentorship program is full of creativity. And don't think if you're not behind the microphone or behind the camera, you're not creative. It's creative to be on the production side too, to market it, to get the word out there. How can you creatively share the news? That inspires me very much so. It sure does. Jonathan, I see a guitar back there. We're before we get going, yeah. Not to put you on the spot, but to put you on the spot. I see a couple guitars back there. Could you give us a little demonstration? And then neighbors, it's almost time to go. We are going to share a Black Hat YouTube vid at the end of this, but before, let's see Jonathan share a little bit from one of his instruments. Are you mad?
Sure.
Okay. Here he goes. He's got, I see 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, I'm not sure. There's 3 guitars in his studio at his house. He's got lots to choose from. He's picked one. He might just be plugging in. And, Mr. Miguel. There's our Spanish teacher from the high school. Good morning, Mr. Miguel. Hola. Mr. Miguel, can you say rock and roll? How do we say rock and roll in Spanish? We're talking about creativity, and our special guest today is a musician he's been all around the country, but he's here at Black Cat Co-op and with a mentorship program. And I know Sheima and I were about to show our kids through lessons how to say creativity in Spanish. Here he comes. You want to say hi?
She's asking.
Pedro, where'd you go?
Are you asking seriously?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. We're waiting. Jonathan's getting an instrument ready. We want to hear you say creativity in Spanish.
Creatividad.
There we go. Everybody say it together.
Creatividad. Creatividad. Yeah.
That's our value word. How about intellectual wellness?
How do you say intellectual?
Salud mental.
I always say
Salud mental.
Salud mental, bienestar intelectual.
Intelectual.
I don't know which one I like more. Salud mental or bienestar intelectual. I like more bienestar intelectual. Sounds more like music. Bienestar intelectual.
Mente sana. Mente sana. Mente sana en corpore sano.
Your brain. Learning new things, learning new words in another language is positive for your brain. I love it. Thanks for sharing that with us.
I think we are ready for music.
Yeah, here comes Jonathan. All right, neighbors from Morgan County Black Cat Music Co-op, Jonathan McBee. Take it away, Jonathan.
Okay, well, something to play on the fly. Let me think. How
we're going to get... Hey, wait a minute. I kind of want to do this. I think we're going to time out pretty quickly, but Jonathan, do it again. I'm at the Jonathan concert. Sheima, you got yours too. Hey, we'll close. We'll just log out with this, okay? This is great. All right, neighbors, we're going to see you next week for another positive value word. Maybe we're not running. Jonathan, thank you so much for your creatividad.
Thank you for having me today.
That was fun. We're going to get ready and log off. That was so much fun. Intellectual wellness, healthy for your brains. Sheima and I got to jam with Jonathan